Hello everybody, Sporting Bet. I'm not that white, I'm more that colour. How are you doing? The season has started with a bang. If you're talking about the Spanish season, the Super Cup has taken place, the first leg anyway, and it could have been 4-1 to Barcelona, instead it was 3-2 to Real Madrid. Perhaps 3-1 would have reflected more than what happened. Our first half with Real Madrid basically wasn't themselves, or not the last version of Real Madrid. Far too defensive, far too deep. Second half, actually, they came out, they attacked, and Barcelona took advantage. And that's why they could have gone 4-1. But instead, after a messy chance, you must have seen it, Valdés made a huge mistake, and it was a 3-2 at the end. So second leg next week, and it's at the Santiago Bernabeu, and I think Jose Mourinho wanted to win the first leg because he felt that at the Santiago Bernabeu Barcelona have got a little bit of an advantage, because Real Madrid have to go out and attack, and it doesn't always work for them, and Barcelona tend to get good results away in the Clásico. It could be a draw, it's going to be goal scoring for sure, but it could be a draw, it could be a 2-2, a 3-3. That will probably give the Super Cup to Barcelona. And actually, it is Real Madrid that needed this Super Cup, because Real Madrid don't want nobody to rewrite history and actually say, see, Barcelona are better. It was an accident that they lost the league last season, and they're going to win it again. That's probably the conclusion of many. If this Barcelona actually, that don't seem to have taken the Super Cup so seriously, or as seriously as Real Madrid, if they win it. About taking it seriously, Jose Mourinho keeps saying, oh no, it's nothing, it's not a major competition. And then he wears a tracking suit, because it was a way of saying we're not that bothered. But then the lineup suggested differently, the way they behave suggested differently, and the reaction after the results suggested differently. So it's an important competition for both, really, but especially for Real Madrid, I feel. Anyway, in the league, a couple of very big games for the two big teams. And if you're actually going to bet on a strange result, it's the time to do it, because when they start fixing themselves and adjusting to the league, it will be more regular that Barcelona and Madrid win games. It's Getafe Real Madrid first, and Getafe have always made things difficult for Real Madrid, and they do so by keeping the ball actually. The problem is, I feel, that they just don't have a goal scorer at Getafe this season, one that could mark the differences. Even though Miku's still there, Miku followed by Premier League teams, and do not be surprised if he ends up in the Premier League actually, but Miku could be the striker. Still, I feel they probably haven't got enough. The obligation from Getafe is not just trying to get to Europe, which is the demand of the chairman, but also to play good football. They tend to do so against Real Madrid, at least keep the ball. But I feel that this Real Madrid just need to, at the moment, while they adjusting, defend deep and counter-attack, and they can kill Getafe with a couple of goals that way. I think it should be a victory to Real Madrid by a couple of goals. But Osasuna Barcelona is a different story. Again, Osasuna is a team that makes things very, very difficult for any team that goes to Al Sadar, or to the Reino de Navarra, as it's called now. And Barcelona actually lost last season. So do not be surprised. It's the beginning of the season. That's when strange results happen, and Tito Vilanova has warned against that. Remember in the last, say, 4 years, in the Pep Guardiola era, when they lost against Numancia the first game, and then they drew against Racing the second game. They lost against Hércules the following season at the Camp Nou. So we've seen Real Madrid drawing against Valencia in the first game of the season. I think this could be a draw actually, and I'm saying that because Osasuna are an aggressive team. They counter-attack well. They have pacey forwards, and that is something that affects or can hurt Barcelona. Barcelona that has had to play the Super Cup, as I'm saying, an important game at the beginning of the season, where players still not completely fit. It was a very demanding game as well at the Camp Nou, because the humidity was huge. Basically, they were all so tired at the end of it. So I just wonder if Osasuna, who obviously haven't played any game this week, if they can take advantage of it. That could be a draw, I think, and then turn things around again in La Liga after just 2 weeks. That's for La Liga. Premier League, fascinating start as well, with goals everywhere, goals galore, and surprising results. And we're going to stay with one of those teams that started the league really well, Swansea of my friend Michael Laudrup. And by the way, how have we said times in this forum that Michael Laudrup deserves a chance as a manager? And finally he got it, and obviously they're not going to win every game 5-0, but I think he signed one player in Michu that's going to become the signing of the summer everywhere, the European signing of the year. I'm convinced, and I'm convinced that next summer there will be teams, big teams, knocking the door of Swansea and actually trying to sign Michu. Now, why didn't nobody else sign it? And I've heard all kinds of stories about, oh my God, what a bargain that Swansea got. Well, Sevilla wanted him. In Spain there is no money. He had a 4 million buyout clause. Although I think the figure that's been mentioned is 2.5 million euros that he cost. I think he cost more than that. But anyway, 4 million is the maximum that he could cost because, as I'm saying, there's a buyout clause. The thing is, 90% of Premier League teams were offered Michu. And some of them said, actually, he's very tall, but he's not a great header of the ball. He cannot hold the ball. He's a bit light. Strange things. Because this guy, he's got the football understanding in his brain of how to play in the hole and how to actually come from deep to get into the box and score double figures with Rayo last season. He will be one of the top goal scorers in La Liga, in the Premier League this season. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case, and Michael Laudrup is completely happy with him, with Michu, with De Guzman, and with Chico as well. So all in all, Swansea will play at home against West Ham, and it's going to be a completely different test to the first week, because obviously West Ham are going to defend deep, and it's going to be down to Swansea to take the initiative. But they're happy with it. They won that, and I'm sure that they will lose games. I'm sure they're going to make mistakes, but to a team that already passed the ball, they've added players that are used to pass the ball. That's what they build their reputation on. So I think they've gone a step further. Obviously, the ultimate target is to be top 10. We will see if they manage to get that. I still think they need a couple of signings, but in any case, it will be a difficult test. I'm not sure if they're going to score many goals this season, even though Michu may be one of the top goal scorers, and despite the 5-0 in the first leg. So a 1-0 will be enough against West Ham. I do feel that there were times in the first weekend where Swansea let themselves down defensively. Only 15-20 minutes pockets during the game. But I wonder if West Ham can actually take advantage of it. As I'm saying, a difficult test. I still think Swansea will win, will concede perhaps 2-1 to Swansea, and still see them at the top of the table. Although now it's Chelsea who are at the top of the table. But great place to be, Swansea. I'm there next week, actually, talking to everybody for Sky Sports. And it would be great to see them during the season as well. Great club. Another interesting game for the weekend will be Chelsea-Newcastle. And Chelsea, yes, they attack well. They put a lot of attacking-minded players on the pitch. They have to tell them, Di Matteo will, that defending is or something they have to do as well. They have to keep it tight from the moment the opposition builds their attack, not just wait at the back, because we've seen Reading creating chances against them, and that will happen all along. Wigan as well. So against Newcastle, tough test. I do think that Chelsea is going to be one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League, and I'm sure they will score. But I see Newcastle making things very difficult with that 4-3-3 formation that they used finally against Spurs, and that made them play much better. So Dembaba and Cisse, Ben Arfa look perfectly fit for that kind of formation. 4-3-3 is what Villas-Boas used to play with Chelsea. Now it's more like a 4-2-3-1. But in any case, they're still Chelsea not solid enough. I think Newcastle may take advantage of it. I see a draw in that game, and if it's not a draw, come back and tell me. Anyway, enjoy the football of the weekend, and talk next week. Cheerio.